Hello, everybody. It is November 16th, 2017, and this is the weekly Backdrop Status Update meeting. Uh, every week we get together and talk about how things are proceeding in the world of Backdrop. This meeting is primarily focused on development tasks, although we also touch on community a little bit. Earlier today, we had our outreach and marketing meeting, and next week we will have our design meeting an hour before this one. But every week we do the development and kind of community check-in. And so we're going to run through the items of things that have changed since last week. Updates from the project management committee. Nothing new since last week, but it is worth noting that all of our agreements have been returned by all project management committee members to the Software Freedom Conservancy. The Software Freedom Conservancy is going to become our fiscal sponsor in 2018, allowing us to accept tax-free donations, for example, as well as alleviating some of the financial burden that we have managing the Backdrop finances right now. So that's great. We're really excited about moving forward with the Software Freedom Conservancy, and our objective is to become a full member by 2018 and then move into that for the next year. So that's really exciting, and I'm happy to see that pushing along. Community updates. Welcome, Bjorn ST, for into the Contrib repository. I think we gave you a call last week, but welcome again. And there's been more modules being ported since this initial introduction to the Contrib group, including Simple Pickwick block and WordPress import module, and also writing brand new modules, language menu item module. It's great to see the porting of Drupal modules, as well as taking a dive into writing brand new Contrib projects for Backdrop. So welcome, and thank you, Bjorn ST. New contributed projects besides the aforementioned language menu item module. Doc Wellmont's been on a roll, creating 3 new projects in relation to the forum site, including the mentions module, which allows you to @mention people and link to their profile information, as well as CK editor mentions, which allows it to work within CK editor, and user points module, which is an API module for acquiring like karma type points. Thanks, Doc Wellmont, for porting all of those modules and for adding that functionality, or working towards adding that functionality to the forum site. I think that's all we have for new contributed projects, but that's still a great quota for new projects this past week. Totally fantastic. Website related improvements. We talk about backdropcms.org and related sites. The big news in the world of Backdrop CMS, oh, there's so many actually. It's been a great week. The forum site has been pushing forward thanks to Doc Wellmont's efforts. As mentioned during the contrib section, he is adding the ability to @mention different users so that you can communicate back and forth between different people, and ultimately we can elaborate that out into notification type systems. But also the ability to mark discussions or comments within a discussion as an accepted answer has been added to the forum site. So now if you're asking a question on the forum site and one particular comment successfully answers your question, then you can mark that question or that comment as accepted, and it bubbles up to the top. So kind of building in functionality similar to Stack Overflow, or the Apple forums, I believe, also does some functionality like that. So kind of building in new forum-like functionality, or questions and answers-like functionality into the forum site. The forum site overall is ready for action, or at least ready for people experimenting and trying it out. There is a dedicated issue queue for the forum under backdrop-ops github.com/backdrop-ops/forum.backdropcms.org is where all of the code lives, and it's where we're tracking issues with the forum site. So we highly encourage you to go and give the forum site a spin at forum.backdropcms.org. You do need to create an account, and right now there's no single sign-on functionality, so you have to create a new username and password, and then try it out. Feel free to just create posts, and ultimately we'll have lots of content in there is the idea. So feel free to just create posts willy-nilly to try out the functionality, answer each other's posts, and kick it back and forth just to try things out. And then post any feedback you have to forum.backdropcms.org issue queue. So yeah, lots of great updates on the forum. It is also our intention to send out a newsletter regarding the forum in the near future, just to also get not just the diehards that are here watching these videos on a regular basis, but also reach out to our hundreds of mailing list subscribers and get them to start participating in forum-based discussions. Over on backdropcms.org itself, it's our flagship website. There's also some very exciting news. The showcase is live and up and in the primary navigation, so it is discoverable. It has content, and it looks great. We have, looks like almost a dozen showcase items in there at the moment. They're all really great looking sites, and the pages themselves look wonderful. You can upload as many mobile and desktop and tablet versions of screenshots as you want, and they will all be framed very nicely. We have the ability to pull out customer quotes and display those well as write up a typical description and summary. All a very, very cool collection of new functionality. If you're interested in posting information about sites that you've built on Backdrop onto backdropcms.org, you can do so. You can create a new showcase node. If you have a user account on backdropcms.org, you can create a showcase node. They do go through moderation before they're published, but anyone has the ability to create those showcase nodes. And so if you're wanting to show off your site, you can also you can use that for SEO purposes and cross-link over to your own vendor site that built it. It's a great way to get some cross-marketing between our website and your services. Please feel free to do so because it benefits everyone by showing the world what awesome things you've built in Backdrop. That does it for our website-related tasks. Lots of really great news in the forum website and the backdropcms.org flagship website. Next, we're going to jump into a project status report talking about Backdrop CMS, the product itself. So the next bug fix release that we will be putting out will be Backdrop 1.8.1. And I feel like I say this fairly regularly, but Backdrop is stable right now. With Backdrop 1.8.0, there haven't been any substantial reason for us to make a bug fix release. And so it's continuing to accrue small fixes here and there. But we don't have a timeline for actually pushing out 1.8.1 yet because there's not any substantial amount of bugs that are out there to actually be released. So we do have some items that we'd like to get done as soon as possible. There is the issue tracker, of course, where you can find 1.8.1 issues in GitHub. But the ones that I keep pulling up every week are cross-ports from Drupal, making sure that Backdrop doesn't suffer from any problem that's already been fixed over in the land of Drupal is a priority for us. And so we have 4 issues that track cross-ports from Drupal 7.50 through 7.56. And they're in the weekly agenda. The issue numbers are 2013, 2774, 2775, and 2776. All of them have, actually most of them have pull requests that have been merged and have about a quarter of the issues remaining in each one of them. So each one of those issues contains a bucket of anywhere from 10 to 50 ports. And all of them have had substantial progress, and all of them have pull requests for the remaining items, but they just need a little bit of work. Let's see. Olaf just brought up the fact that we should potentially do one higher priority item. It is tagged for 1.8.1. A developer experience problem. You can get a fatal error during installation if you have a special character in the database password. Yeah, absolutely. That would be fantastic. It doesn't look like we have a pull request yet for that one, but yeah, absolutely. It would be fantastic. It looks like we have some suggestions, and actually newer versions of PHP actually don't seem to have the problem. So it looks like we have suggestions and workarounds, and it's just a matter of getting them implemented and into a pull request format. That issue is 2231. Thanks a lot for bringing that up. 1.9 is our next minor release of Backdrop that will be coming out January 15th, 2018. And our primary focus for this release is better media handling. In 1.8, we added a files listing that shows you where all of your files are used and allows you to delete those files. If you just want to remove a file entirely from your system, you can do so. And we also changed the way some of the file handling worked in 1.8, that files in some situations, like when you upload a file to be used in the hero block or within a block that is managed in configuration, those files are marked as permanent right away, and not because they're separate from config. So they're marked permanent, but not associated with any pieces of content. And the new file listing browser in 1.8 allows you to go through and see those files, manage them, the temporary ones that are being uploaded that maybe you'd like to clean up right away rather than waiting for cron jobs, and making it so that you can delete those permanently uploaded files that aren't associated directly with content. In 1.9, we'd like to further enhance this ability to manage files by making it so that you can edit, or as we're now saying correctly, manage individual files so that you can see where those files are being used. You can delete them, which is what you can do right now. But you can also literally replace a file in place so that other files or pieces of content that use that file can reference a new file instead, or change the displayed file name and potentially edit other metadata around that file in the future. That issue for managing an existing file is issue 2796. It is unblocked as far as concept and terminology is concerned. We just need a reroll of that pull request that includes the terminology updates and an upgrade path to update how that manage files view works. After that issue, we would like to potentially make files or file entities into fieldable entities, which is issue 2632. That pull request has got an enormous amount of really excellent work. It just needs to be trimmed down a little bit to make it so that it's suitable for including in Backdrop core, kind of trimming out the extraneous, maybe not extraneous, but the ambitious functionality, and separate that out potentially for contrib or later core work. And finally, issue 2633 is the ability to upload a file manually. This would just allow you to create a file independently of any other content entirely, just upload a file to your site, and then have it be managed as a permanent piece of, as a permanent file that wouldn't get cleaned up and doesn't need to be associated with content. And this can be useful for uploading things that you could potentially embed into things like a homepage layout or a custom block, or potentially just upload a file so that you can share it with other people and not have to be dependent upon other services. You just want to give somebody a link and you don't want content associated with it. This issue, we've got a pull request that is based upon the work in file entity, but even to the people that wrote the port, they're not entirely satisfied with the overall results. That the process for uploading a file in file entity module in 777 is a 4-step, multi-step process, and it's a little too tedious, we believe, to be included as is. So we have some additional work to do. We probably need to get in the ability to edit an existing file first, and then we'll add the ability to upload a file on top of that, we believe. So that issue needs more work and is probably going to be further down the road. We also have a bucket of other issues for 1.9 issues you can see on the GitHub issue tracker. Simply check out the 1.9.0 milestone. And that does it for our project and product update. We have a couple people here, Jeff and Olaf. Anything you guys would like to add just in general discussion, or any questions you guys would like to ask? No? Okay. You're muted, but I saw you shaking your head, so.
Yeah, not at the moment.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining nonetheless. But I think that does it for our weekly check-in. Thanks again, everybody out there that watches these meetings or listens to these meetings on a regular basis. And thank you guys again for joining. We always appreciate everybody showing up and checking in so that you can get the latest information on Backdrop. So thanks again, everybody. We'll check in again next week. See you guys online.